What is going on, my broskiis? My name is Toadskii, back again, here to bring you guys yet another One Piece Treasure Cruise video, and today we have the brand new event currently live on One Piece Treasure Cruise Global and on GP and on the Korean version of Treasure Cruise. Now this is called the Grand Battle event, so it's up against the Marines. You can see Grand Battle versus the Navy officers, versus Admiral Sengoku, and then also versus Admiral GARP. Now the main difference with all of these fights is that the higher stamina difficulty typically gives you better drops. That's what we've seen in the past, and obviously better drops mean more points for your ranking, of course. If you want to go ahead and check it out, you can click the event site tab, which will give you a link that you can go ahead over to the website and see how you are doing. So if I scroll down real quick and see how am I doing. So currently in the world, remember the total ranking is your worldwide ranking between JP, Korea, and Global. Here we have 2,131 I'm ranked currently, and then in GARP, which is the only one that I am personally farming, I haven't touched the Sengoku or the Navy officers one, but in GARP you can see I'm 353. So that's how everything's going regarding that. But of course, we're going to be going through just, a few teams you guys can build in order to take on this event. And one thing to note is that, well, you can go check out the Chopman missions. There are Chopman missions that are relating to this event, and by doing so, you can get your hands on a brand new Whitebeard character. The Whitebeard character, by the way, looks freaking cool. I love the artwork of the character. Let's go ahead and have a look and break him down real quick. So this Whitebeard is a strength striker powerhouse. His captain effect, once its limit broken, is going to go ahead and give your strength inside characters a 3.25 times attack boost, and then also other characters that are not those typing still get a 2.75 times attack boost, and then also boost the health of strength and psi by 1.3, and then gives you a -1 cooldown to strength and psi at the start of the fight. So quite obvious, you can see why this character is built the way he is. The unfortunate thing is that this character is not boosted for the event, so I find that really bizarre. I feel like he should have at least been a 1.5 booster, kind of like the Shanks and the Buggy were in the previous event. It's very strange, but anyways, this Whitebeard 13 turn cooldown has a really cool special, reducing one enemy HP by 20%, also reducing bind by 4 turns, and then reducing all enemies' defense up by 4 turns as well. And then if 4 or more side characters are on your crew, you get a 1.75 times orb boost for 3 turns, and then if you have 4 or more strength characters, you get a 1.75 attack boost for 3 turns. So you can use him on a Roger team for the orb boost, whereas Roger gives you an attack boost, or you could use him on an Oden team, where Oden gives you the orb boost, and then Whitebeard can be your attack booster. So it's kind of nice the way that he is built. He's got really good utility, and he's got a nice either attack or orb boosting special, depending on what type of team you put him on. So I really like that they've done that. He also has crewmate ability, cannot be blown away, 70 base HP to strength and psi. He has barrier pierce. When you're above 50%, you go through barriers. Slot bind by 5 turns. He does have a support effect of 6% stats to powerhouse characters. Very weird though, because Oden's not powerhouse. I would have thought for sure he would have been supported Oden either way. And he does have rumble abilities as well, but he's not like super duper amazing in Pirate Rumble from what I read. So with all that being said, that's the breakdown of the new Whitebeard, but let's go ahead and get into the important thing here, which is going to be the brand new Grand Battle versus Admiral GARP. In this video today, I have 4 separate teams for you guys. One with Stampede Luffy as the captain, one with V3 Boa, and then we have Oden and then a Roger team. And I have to say, pretty much Roger is the best captain for this fight. I'm just going to say that, right? But talking about this dungeon in its entirety, the first 2 stages are just some generic mob stages. Stage 3, though, you do have this Dex mob in the middle, which applies 6 turns of despair. If you have a friend captain Roger, or if you're using Roger as your captain, or Stampede Luffy, they have the captain effect to resist despair. So that actually makes it a lot easier, of course. But outside of that, not really too much you have to deal with on Stage 3. Stage 4, however, is where you have to deal with Sengoku. Sengoku is a Dex character and has around 10 million health, and there's also some mob characters that surround him as well, and the mobs do have 1 million HP, so if you use Roger's special here, it will kill the mob characters, and then you can just focus on Sengoku. But you'll be inflicted with normal attacks only, of course. You are target locked into the middle character there as well, so using Roger's special here is quite ideal. And then also Sengoku does apply a 2-turn HP barrier, which is obviously not very ideal either, so having a character to remove it, or just having enough damage to bypass it, is going to be super ideal. If Sengoku is alive after the first turn, he's going to apply 2 turns of a type orb barrier, so of course you do not want to deal with that either. So if you do have to wait a couple of turns, potentially using the free-to-play Buggy is going to be a really good character, because he has a special ability that can actually get rid of the barrier. And then the final boss, GARP, actually changes his typing depending on the typing of your captain. So because we have a Psy captain here, he becomes an int unit. He basically transforms into the character that you are going to be super effective against, or whatever your captain is. So if you've got a quick captain, he's going to transform into a strength character, etc. It's pretty straightforward, right? But he also will go ahead and limit you to 3 specials per turn, so that's also quite annoying. And he does have 5 turns of threshold damage reduction and 5 turns of percent damage reduction. And he also gives you a full board of block orbs. So if you are using Oden, you can actually go ahead and carry the Wano slots into this room, and he cannot change those Wano slots. So obviously having the combination of Oden and Roger is going to be your best way to get through this fight. So you guys would have just seen previously we had the Stampede Luffy team, which actually got through the fight pretty easily actually. And now we're moving on to a V3 Boa Hancock team. So with this team, the free-to-play Buggy and Shanks are very good characters for this fight. So I really hope you guys have those characters all ready to go, because they are going to be quite useful units for this particular fight. Now, if you are finding this to be a little troublesome to clear, you can still go ahead and target out the Navy officers, or you can go ahead and target the Sengoku fight instead of having to fight the GARP challenge. The GARP one is a little more challenging compared to the Sengoku and the Navy officers. I personally haven't read into what the Sengoku fight or what the Navy officers do, but obviously we all know that those fights are going to be a lot easier compared to this GARP challenge fight here. In this fight here, once again, we are going to be using the Roger special. It's going to be very nice to just get rid of the mob characters, as well as providing an attack boost. And then the combination specials of both Buggy and Shanks are going to enable us to get around a lot of the debuffs that get inflicted on this stage too, which is quite nice. And then for the final boss stage, we can dedicate our attack boost to being on V3 Boa Hancock with her amazing super type special of giving us a full board of Psy slots, as well as giving our Psy characters a 2.5 times attack boost. Now with this team as well, we are using Marco as a sub to give us a orb boost on the final stage. The Rayleigh Rare Recruit is just a fully exceptional unit. If you have that Rare Recruit Rayleigh, it makes this fight infinitely easier, because he can remove those really nasty defensive buffs on the GARP stage, as well as providing a 2 times color affinity to your strength and your Psy characters. So quite obviously, having the Rare Recruit Rayleigh makes this fight a lot easier. The Rare Recruit Dogstorm and Cat Viper, and also Crocus really, are kind of useless characters for this fight. You don't need them, but the free-to-play Buggy and Shanks are infinitely more useful characters that you definitely want on your team for not only additional points, but obviously just making it a little bit easier for you to clear this challenge. So we'll go ahead and pick things up once we talk about the next team, which is going to be the Oden team. So now we're going to go ahead and move on to the next team, which is with Kozuki Oden as the captain. So this is for those people out there that were lucky enough to summon for Oden, but unfortunately did not get their hands on Gol D Roger. So in this situation here, you can run this pretty awesome team, again, using the free-to-play Buggy and the free-to-play Shanks help out a lot here. Now, obviously, we do have the Zora, right? Zora is going to be a really cool unit on this team, because his special ability will remove the defensive effects on the GARP stage, so he actually removes 5 turns of threshold and 5 turns of percent damage reduction, as well as providing a color affinity boost to your slashes and also your driven characters. So with Kozuki Oden, the fact that he is here, we can actually basically buff Kozuki Oden to crazy heights, and then use basically just Kozuki Oden to deal as much damage as possible towards the GARP. So this is a pretty good way of building a team that is able to get around the fight, of course. But of course, if you were lucky enough to get the Rare Recruit Rayleigh, you could just put Rare Recruit Rayleigh instead of Zora on this team. It will work just as fine. So that's what I would suggest if you were lucky enough to get the Rayleigh. If not, you can use Zoro. I just wanted to show that, you know, you can do replacements for these units that are on these teams, but obviously the free-to-play Buggy and Shanks, everyone at this point should have those characters, so that's not going to be that big of a problem. And then, you know, replacing the captain is basically up to you, depending on what characters you have in your character box. Obviously, if you are using the free-to-play Shanks as a sub on this team, then you can't use Shanks' crew as a captain, so you will have to make a little bit of an exchange there and find someone else that can remove the bind, which there are definitely other characters that you could use to remove the bind instead. But, you know, you could use V3 Law as the captain, you could use Stampede Luffy, as we already talked about as well. There's, like, lots of different options here, but as long as you have those free-to-play units and then one of those units to remove those nasty defensive effects on the final stage, you're not going to have too many problems from there. But I'll leave you guys with the rest of this clip with Kozuki Oden. He's going to go ahead and destroy GARP, and then we'll move on to my personal team that I am using to farm the Grand Battle event. So this is the final team in the video today, and this is my personal team that I am using to farm this event with. And in this video as well, I am doing techniques. I wouldn't say it's like too crazy or that big brain, but, you know, obviously trying to hit the goods and greats to try and make sure that I can reduce the amount of time spent in the actual fight. One thing to note as well is that we only use one of the Roger Super type specials just to enhance the amount of time that we spend here, to make sure that we you know, we don't really have to activate a second second Roger Super type special. We just don't need to. As long as you attack with the right characters and are focusing, you can actually get through this very, very quickly. I think this team is sub 2 minutes. I'm almost certain it is. The actually real annoying thing is that the preemptive attack of both GARP and Sengoku on stages 4 and 5, they actually take a really long time to go through and tap through because they activate so many different things, and they do a lot of talking. There's all that lore that they have to go through, right? So all of that is quite annoying, but the actual fight itself is pretty straightforward with all of the new batch characters, of course. Now, on this team as well, we have Crocus, and Crocus can just be replaced with literally anything. He's just kind of there because he's a low combo hit Psy character that will enable us to do a lot of damage on the later stages, as you guys are going to see. But hopefully you guys enjoyed the video today. Make sure to get farming in the Blitz battle. There's lots of good rewards up for grabs. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the video today, and if you guys did enjoy it, make sure to go ahead and hit the like button, and if you want to stay up to date with all of the content that I post, including more One Piece Treasure Cruise content, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. But on that, guys, I'll see you guys within the next video.
Coisa, cara.